When you think of the Dodgers, you think juggernaut because obviously, but I would argue Dodger fans got the most excited this offseason, not for Roki Sasaki, not for Blake Snell, but the move to bring back Teoscar Hernandez, a player they just had. Now, maybe most fans were more excited for Sasaki and Snell, but the vibe I got from what I saw Dodger fans saying before and after he re-signed was that the level of anticipation and eagerness to bring Teoscar back and the level of excitement when they did bring him back was on the same level of Sasaki and Snell, the big guns. Now, the reality is Teoscar is a big gun himself. It's just when you also have 3 MVPs as teammates in your lineup, it's hard to stand out quite as much, but he was still, many would argue, the heart and soul of the Dodgers last year, so bringing him back was huge. But the Dodgers also had another Hernandez, someone who wasn't just there for 2024, but someone who's been there for most of the last 10 years, and that's Kike Hernandez. Really quick as always, if you're part of the 53% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as unlike Teoscar Hernandez, who's been a really good hitter his whole career, Kike isn't quite that, but he is very, very important to the Dodgers and has been for a long time. Ironically, his best season he's had in his entire career was in Boston with the Red Sox in 2021, but just like Kenley Jansen, another Dodger turned Red Sox player, Kike is a Dodger and will always be a Dodger. Kenley was in Boston the last 2 years, and it was clear as day he wasn't as happy. I mean, it got to the point I was borderline shocked he wasn't on the field in New York celebrating with the Dodgers when they clinched, even though he wasn't on the team. But either way, as for Kike, who didn't have to imagine being on the field celebrating, since he made his way back to LA after a short stint in Boston, he's provided a lot to a team beyond than just his bat. The Dodgers have been one of, if not the most innovative teams in baseball with utility players, with how flexible they like their rosters to be and have their guys have the ability to play multiple positions. Kike's fit right into that, playing every position for the Dodgers over the years other than catcher. He's provided a lot of help in that way, and his hitting may not usually be that great, but here's the absolute best thing about Kike Hernandez when it comes to his talent. When you play for the Dodgers, there's not just a good chance you make it to the postseason. It's not just like oh, this team looks pretty good. No, at this point, it's a guarantee they make it every year. Not a guarantee they win it all, that's a different story, but simply making the playoffs and winning the division too. That's all virtually a lock, and it's been that way for a dozen straight years. So ideally, you want players who turn things up a notch during October, guys you can rely on in the biggest moments. So when you have Kike Hernandez who turns things up 3 notches in the month of October, I mean, there's nothing else you can ask for. He's played 86 postseason games over the last 10 years, and all of his numbers are significantly better than his regular season numbers. It's pretty amazing how much of a big game player he is, and it just adds to the importance of him as a player. In those 86 career postseason games, Kike has driven in 35 runs, connected for 15 runs, about 20 ball taps. I mean, it's real impressive stuff. He also leads all of baseball in zestiness. Real stat, don't look it up, just trust me. Again, this isn't a guy tearing the cover off the ball throughout the first 6 months. Yet he's become one of the most magical postseason players of all time, which just adds to why baseball is so magical. And like Teoscar, he also adds a lot of heart to the team. Yeah, he's not Mookie or Shohei, but he's going to dance like nobody else, make everyone around him laugh like nobody else, tell the world that
we don't give a fuck,
and then go out and hit postseason bombs. That's some really valuable stuff that the metrics won't necessarily tell you. And it's been clear this offseason, after becoming a free agent, Kike wants to play baseball for one team and one team only. He's been very open about that, just like Joe Kelly, who even said he'd retire if he doesn't play for the Dodgers. And Kike has been very open and excited on how confident he is in the Dodgers being the first team to go back-to-back since the Yankees in the late 90s. And as expected, it finally became official, as the Dodgers cap off a legendary and historic offseason following a championship by bringing back Kike for 1 year, $6 million, all $6 million being deferred. That's not true, by the way, but you definitely believed it, at least for a second. The money, I don't know what it is. I don't really think the details are out yet, but it's for 1 year. The Dodgers, again, yes, are a juggernaut with guys like Shohei and Mookie and Freddie, etc., but they've also been very big on having players with big personalities, whether they're stars or not. I mean, those 3 guys have personalities on their own, but then you have Kike Hernandez, far from the best player on the team, but still someone who adds so much value with just his mascot persona alone. The energy he brings, and then you add his versatility, his postseason heroics. It's easy to not think about, especially if you're from the outside looking in, but it really is important to have players like this on a team. Someone who helps gel it all together, especially when it's a one-of-a-kind player like Kike. It's a long season, and I think you need players with his energy to really help the other guys get going at times. I really do believe that's important. Balance, I think, is the key word here, and it's something the Dodgers have become very good at when handling their team. Not leading to one way or the other, diving into the analytics, but also not letting go of the human feel of the game. Like Dave Roberts. One of the biggest, most decisive decisions of the entire season was based off feel, when he kept Blake Trinan in the game after feeling his heartbeat. That literally happened, and it worked. So they have balance with that. They have so many players who can play multiple positions. They have players with fun personalities who can also get serious and kick ass when it's needed. And now they bring back a man who was wearing a banana suit 10 years ago, and 10 years later still does goofy shit like that. That hasn't changed, but he's also grown more into a leader. He can do both, and it's part of why the Dodgers continue to win. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.